Hey Geo students, we did not get to all of the coordinate problems in class, so I thought I'd make a quick video, and by quick I mean it's probably going to take me a little while, but a video nonetheless of me doing some of these coordinate problems. You guys can take a look this weekend, still try your homework worksheet 1. Hopefully this will help you out. So we got quadrilateral ELFS, ELFs. Not really grammatically correct, but we're going to plot these points. So we got -7, -2, negative. So now, as you can see, I've kind of jumped ahead, but I plotted all 3 points, E, L, and F, okay, and I connected the dots. So I now need to find coordinate S. I mean, I can tell that it's going to be somewhere over here, but we want to be exact, so I'm going to use slopes to do this. I'm going to count down my LF. So LF, actually, I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to go ahead and write this down as I go, because I'm going to need this anyway. So I'm going to use the slope of LF, and it's down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, over 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to leave it unreduced for right now, down 6 over 4. I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing, starting with point E. So I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and over 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to give me my missing coordinate point, S. So now I can connect my dots. Okay. So now my new slope, ES, is also -6 over 4. Now we can reduce those. That's going to be -3 over 2. Here, -3 over 2. Okay, guys, let's write down this coordinate. This coordinate was -1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Could Wendy Martinian please go to the attendance office? Wendy Martinian, please go to the attendance office.
Awkward. Okay, we're going to keep going. Cool, so now I need to find my other 2 slopes. Now, why am I finding the slopes? I need to determine what this shape is. So before I determine that it's a rectangle, rhombus, or square, I need to show that it's a parallelogram. So I already have that these 2 opposite sides have the same slope, so they're parallel. All right, so one pair of opposite sides parallel. Now I need to show that the other pair of opposite sides are parallel. So again, I'm going to find some slopes. Slope of LE and slope of SF. Now, the long story short with this is, you guys, first thing you should do, find all 4 slopes. All right, we're going to go for this. I'm going to count out slope EL. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it was +10 over 9. So we're going to do the same idea with segment SF. I'm going to count rise over run for my slope. And again, I get that 10 over 9 is my slope. Okay, so we have 2 pairs of opposite sides parallel, because here I have the same slope, here I have the same slope. Okay, so this is definitely a parallelogram. But now I want to show if it's anything else. I need to see if it's a rhombus, a rectangle. If it's both of them, then it's a square. So I'm going to check to see if it's a rectangle. How do I do this, you guys? All I want to do is show whether or not that guy that I just marked, angle E, for example, is a right angle. If one of them is a right angle, then they all are. How do I know if they're right angles? Well, in coordinate geometry, a right angle means perpendicular lines. So all I want to do is check our 2 adjacent sides perpendicular. That's the question of the hour. Well, I already did the work for this. That's the best part about this, you guys. Let's see. For example, LF, this segment, is right next to LE, this segment. Let's compare their slopes. LE, the slope of LE, is negative 3 over 2. The slope, I'm sorry, that was LF. Hello. All right, slope of LF was negative 3 over 2. Slope of LE, there we go, is 10 over 9. Are these opposite reciprocals? The answer is no. So they're not opposite reciprocal, which means that this is not a right angle. So since it's not a right angle, it's not a rectangle. Okay. I also need to show whether or not it's a rhombus. Clearly, the distances aren't going to be the same, but in order to show whether or not something is a rhombus, I actually need to do the distance formula and prove it. So much fun. And so again, I'm going to pick two adjacent sides, or two adjacent sides. Congruent. That's the question. I'm going to write down the distance formula skeleton. Okay, and I'm going to pick two adjacent sides. Okay, I'll pick the same two sides, LE and LF. So the distance of LF, L and F, I'm plugging in my X values, 2 and 6. I'm plugging in my Y values, 8 and 2. 2 minus 6, negative 4 squared, 16. 8 minus 2, 6. 6 squared, 36. My distance is root 52. Moving on, L and E. You can't see my points now, but those are my 2 points. Okay, I'm going to go with my X values, negative 7 and 2. My Y values, negative 2 and 8. Negative 9 squared plus negative 10 squared, which is going to give me 81 plus 100, which is root 181. Clearly, these distances are not the same. Okay, so the directions ask what kind of shape this is. Honestly, it's not a rectangle, it's not a rhombus, but it is a parallelogram. My final answer here, guys, is parallelogram. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's move on and look at the next one. Okay, guys, for this one, I already plotted the points. I put F over here. I know in 6th period we discussed it could go either way. I think in 6th period I put it in the other direction. But the reason why it really should be where I put it now is because when I name a quadrilateral, it needs to go in order. So here I have GIFT. Okay, which really, either way, you should be able to get the right answer, you guys, but just be kind of cognizant of that. So here's my 4 coordinates. We're going to go ahead. We're going to find all 4 slopes to start. I'm just going to do that right on the graph, you guys. TG is up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2, 3. IF up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2, 3. There's our 2 slopes there. Now, interestingly enough, TF is a horizontal line, so that slope is 0. GI also has a slope of 0. Okay, so we have our slopes of 4 over 3, 4 over 3, 0, and 0. So since opposite sides are parallel, because they have the same slope, I know I have a parallelogram. Check for rectangle. Clearly, 4/3 and 0 are not opposite reciprocals. So the adjacent sides are not perpendicular, so it's not a rectangle. Last thing, check if it's a rhombus. I think it kind of looks like a rhombus, but we got to do the distance formula to double check. I'm going to pick two adjacent sides. So I want to find the distance of TG Okay, so looking at T, my x value is 0. G, x value is -3, so that turns to a +3. Y values, T is 2, G is -2, so that becomes a +2. All right, solving further, I get 3 squared plus 4 squared, and that gives me 9 plus 16, which is 25, and I still have that square root, so TG has a length of 5. Now I already know this is a parallelogram, so I already know that the opposite side is also going to be 5. I just want to find the slope, the distance of a side next to that. So let's go for the distance of the adjacent side, TF. Now, there is something kind of nice about a horizontal line. When it's a horizontal line, you actually can count the distance. So I already can see that this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, I will do the distance formula because it's not always going to be a horizontal line. So TF distance formula, here we go. Okay, x value of T is 0. X value of F is 5. I'm using this point right here that we found. Cool, we got 0 minus 5 quantity squared. Now we got to do our y values. Y value of T is 2. Y value of F, also 2. So here I get -5 squared, which is 25. 2 minus 2 is 0, guys. 0 squared is 0. Cool, we get, what do you know? Root 25, which is also 5. So now I have a parallelogram, which I solved because the opposite sides are parallel. But now I have two adjacent sides congruent. Since it's a parallelogram, I know the opposite sides are congruent. Now I know that all of the sides are congruent. They're all 5. So my final classification is that this is a rhombus. Did that baby in 5 minutes. Awesome. Okay, guys, that's that. Take a look. Good luck on your homework, worksheet 1. Do your best. We'll be checking on Monday. Peace out.